Yes, it is Loveline. And the phone number here at Loveline is 1-800-LOVE-191. Translated loosely, 1-800-568-3191. The fax number, 310-854-4455. Dr. Drew is a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. Say hi to the kiddies, Doc.
Hey, guys. How are you?
That wasn't very sincere.
How are you?
Hey, I'm fine, thank you.
That was more sincere. All right.
I took a nap. I talced down before I left. I even gave an extra shot of talc behind, in the back, in the crack there. A little something extra. Well, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, Drew.
Thought you would
because I got to kill you now. I put the extra talc in because we have two guests tonight.
All right.
We have Morgan Lafonte. She's a world champion, or at least champion, because they don't have a world champion yet.
She's the best women snowboarder in the world.
She certainly is, right. And she has a big sack of Drew. All right. Also, Joey DiPaolo, who's 16 or 17. We'll have to find out. He was born in 79, so we'll have to do our math. He has had the HIV virus since 1990, I believe. Actually, since 84, but discovered it in, I think, 88. And he has gone on a crusade. He's turned his life into a life of meeting with President Clinton, speaking to thousands of people, and discussing AIDS
I had the pleasure
people who listen.
Meeting him on this show, I think it was about 2 years ago, and he's a nice kid. It'll be interesting to talk to him again tonight. So
we have those two on it, and they will be talking about Board Aid, which will be the 14th up at Bear Mountain.
Isn't Bad Religion playing up there?
Bad Religion, our fun guest from last night, will be up there, so we'll get into all that in a few minutes. But first, Jenny, you're on Loveline.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. There's this guy who's 2 years older than me, and I want to go out with him, but I don't think he seems to notice me.
Mm-hmm.
How do I get his attention?
You're 15.
Yeah.
You're a freshman, he's a junior.
Yeah.
He doesn't notice you.
I mean, my friends go up to him and go, Jenny likes you, Jenny likes you. But,
and what does he do?
I don't know. He goes, oh. And, I don't know. That's it.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah, that's probably a bad sign. You know, I don't want to burst your bubble, and I know how it is when you're 15. You fixate on somebody, much like I did with Adrienne Barbeau.
And still do.
Oh, I still do. Yeah, so thank you for bringing that up, Drew. But the point is it's not nice to have your bubble burst. But it doesn't seem like this guy's interested, Jenny. I mean, if the answer, when your friends speak to him, is, oh.
Well, it's not like that. I mean, my friends wrote him a letter once which said that Jenny likes you or something, and he writes back and he goes, she's pretty and stuff, but she's too young.
First off, what's up with your friends doing your bidding? I mean, why don't you go up and talk to this guy? And if you don't go up and talk to this guy, why are your friends all... I mean, they're composing letters to this guy?
That's nice that they're, helping out.
I think it's great, but I mean... I don't know, it just seems like they're a little more involved than maybe they should be.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny, go up to the guy.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just try to make some direct contact. And don't be too upset or too surprised if your overtures are not met wholeheartedly.
Yeah, but Jenny...
Mm-hmm.
You know about World War II with the kamikaze pilots? The Japanese, the young men, they'd have a shot of rice wine, a shot of sake, they'd burn a little incense, they'd psych up, and they'd go straight into the side of the destroyer with a plane loaded full of TNT. That's going to have to be your approach. Do you know what I'm saying?
I just go up to him?
You can't mince around. You got to go straight at him.
So it just has one shot.
You got one shot. You go over the deck, you blow up in the Pacific. Do you know what I'm saying, Jenny?
Yeah.
All right. I think she has no idea what I'm saying.
I don't have any idea what you're saying.
I don't either. George.
Yeah.
You're on Loveline.
Oh, great. Glad I finally got through with you guys. I got a question for Dr. Drew.
Yeah, George.
Okay, this happened to me about a year ago with my girlfriend. We were having, now my ex-girlfriend, we were having sex, and she was on top. She was going up and down, and then it kind of worked its way out, and she went down and kind of crushed it. Went to one side, and it brought out some pretty good pain. And that happened like a year ago, and it still hurts to this day. And I was wondering what that might be.
It hurts on the side?
Yeah, it hurts on the side. Like whenever it gets hard or something, all of a sudden I get a pain.
And it sounds like there's some emotional scarring too there, George. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. It does hurt.
I mean, you think twice before you get her in that position again.
Exactly. And she's a small girl too, and everything. She was riding me like a Harley on a bad piece of road. But, it just came out and crushed.
But, George, let me tell you, even if she's a small girl, let's say 100, 105 pounds, you pour that into the shape of an anvil and drop it onto your erect penis, there's going to be pain involved. Am I right?
Right.
All right.
God.
Well, that's actually tissue that can be torn and traumatized, bruised, and sometimes it can be kind of serious. There's no deformity now?
No, not at all.
You
can't see nothing on her, nothing, but
and you can't feel anything.
It really hurts. Like if I touch it, if I push on it where it hurts.
I don't think there's much that can be done about that right now. Just
I'm picturing the doc say, "Stay off it."
Yeah, just be careful. All right.
I'd say run it off.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Adam, I just want to say you are a funny guy.
Well, thank you, George.
I love listening to the show because you are really hilarious.
I appreciate the feedback. Have another beer. All right, Doc, where do you want to go? Doc points. I love when he does that. Lucas.
Hey.
Hey, you're on Loveline.
What's going on, guys?
Oh, we're having the times of our lives over here.
Hey, Adam, I'd just like to say I talk up once in a while, too.
All right. God bless you.
Here's my problem.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I urinate, it comes out like a shower head.
You mean it sprays?
Not one stream. It's like...
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens to all men.
That's true.
It is.
And you know that... I'm sorry, Drew. Yeah,
I was just saying he's 18. He's just beginning to get exposed to that lovely experience.
Yeah.
And as you get older, that kind of thing happens more and more and more. You get you get a lovely... What?
Is my urethra too big?
No. You're just normal. And have you ever had infection in the urethra?
It feels fine.
You're more likely to get that kind of thing if you had or have an infection in that area.
The best is when it comes out at it just makes a hard left. Soon as it leaves the penis and joins the real world, it just makes a hard, like a strong right angle. And so you compensate. So you're actually aiming at like the trash can at this point, but you're going into the toilet. But then.
True.
I'm not quite sure what that was. I think the Tidy Bowl man got snuffed. But the point is it then straightens out, and now you're actually peeing on your pet, peeing into the decorative soaps, peeing into the potpourri basket, peeing onto the monogrammed towels that your in-laws got you for the wedding. And the worst is just a general wiper spray when it's coming out from all angles.
Sometimes I got to sit on the toilet. It's so bad.
Oh, man, and it robs you of your manlyhood, doesn't it?
It's hard to understand how people have these piercings deal with that, too. But like this Prince Albert rings.
Wait a minute, I have an invention.
Okay.
Lucas.
Yeah.
The wiener shroud. Now, seriously, this is a collar. This is a shroud that you wear that extends an extra 3 or 4 inches past the end of your penis. It kind of keeps things in line. We make it out of some space-age polymer that cleans up easy with soap. No, dishwasher safe. That's what we'll do. We'll make it out of something that's dishwasher safe. You strap it on with like some Velcro around the middle of the penis there, and it keeps everything on the straight and narrow.
A bridle.
Okay, like the grommet.
Yes, much like from the people that brought you the love grommet.
Yes.
The penis shroud. 1995. Wait 4 to 6 weeks for delivery.
Hey, I got another problem.
Lucas, you got to pee when you're in the shower like I do.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Like my other problem is when I smoke marijuana, I don't get hungry. I totally lose my appetite to eat.
That's unusual. It tends to raise insulin levels and drop your blood sugar rather quickly, and that generates hunger. Are you the kind of person that just is not very hungry generally?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, some people just don't have a big appetite, and so their response to low blood sugar may be fatigue or sweats and that sort of thing.
Well, but wait a minute, Lucas, or is it one of these things where you get really baked, you go to the fridge, you pull out some pimento loaf, and as you stare at it, you picture a bunch of like slaughtered barnyard animals and hooves and fat farmers like throwing their dip into the big rendering vat and the whole... Is it one of those psychological things? You just freak yourself out too much?
No, not really. I don't get hungry.
All right. Well, good.
I don't know. Massive amounts, though.
Lucas?
Yeah, okay,
Not
Lucas.
good. Not good, pal. Not good. Just keep listening to this show. Maybe you'll find out why.
Yeah, and part of the spray problem may be that Lucas has a pot seed wedged in his urethra somewhere from eating too many bad brownies. Nicole.
Yeah, hi.
You're on Loveline.
Hi. I was wondering if you could tell me the difference between ecstasy and herbal ecstasy.
Like $8.
Well,
No.
regardless of the price differential, these are entirely different compounds. Entirely different. Herbal ecstasy is basically ginseng, if I understand right.
It is?
And
Do they
ecstasy...
have, like, different effects?
Totally. I mean, absolutely, totally different. Ecstasy, the drug ecstasy, is an amphetamine that's been altered in such a way as to give it hallucinogenic properties. It is an exceedingly dangerous drug. It's one of the few drugs that has been clearly shown to cause structural changes in the brain.
It's speedy, isn't it?
It's a speed. It's an amphetamine that has been, for the third time... You hear?
What, did you say speed times?
I said amphetamine. That's speed.
Well, what the hell's amphetamine mean to me? That's like one of the fifth Charlie's Angel. What do I know about amphetamine?
Amphetamine, speed, that has been altered synthetically to give it LSD-like properties, hallucinogenic properties. So it's like taking speed and acid together.
I took the chemical form twice in my life.
Really?
Once when I was like 22 in Santa Barbara for Halloween.
Yeah.
I got myself a 12-pack. I was in my sailor suit. Women love a man in a uniform. Well, I borrowed the sailor suit. It's not like I enlisted for Halloween, Drew. You just go ahead. See, there's this whole process where you rent an outfit or maybe
you dress
a bar
up for Halloween. Got it.
Right. I got a 12-pack. I went out and I met my girlfriend.
Really?
Yeah, although I didn't know it at the time.
And did it turn out to be a worthwhile,
turned out to be fine, yeah.
healthy relationship?
She ended up going to USC.
This
came
wasn't
back
one of your
here,
stripper girlfriends, was it?
No, it wasn't one of them. And by the way, I don't have like a whole catalog of stripper girlfriends. I had one.
Okay, was this
She's a
she?
nice girl. No, this was not she. She was a nice sorority girl, 80 Pi girl from USC.
All
right. The other time was in Vegas, and I spit coffee on some like pit boss and stayed up till 6 in the morning playing video games because I was out of nickels for the slot. All right, Nicole?
Wait, one more question. Do you guys have the number? Because I know there was an advertisement on the radio like a while back, and it was advertising herbal ecstasy, and I was wondering
Why are you so interested in that?
What?
Why are you so interested in that, just out of curiosity?
I don't know. I want to do it.
Nicole, what's missing? Something's missing.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? Like we have Morgan Lafonte. She's coming in here. She doesn't need herbal ecstasy because she's jumping off of cliffs with a ironing board strapped to her feet. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And then doing it again, doing it a flip. You need things in your life. You know what I mean? Usually the people that want to get into drugs have a little too much time. Like Drew would love to get into heroin, but he can't. He's got to get up early and he's got triplets.
Okay, but isn't herbal... Because like herbal ecstasy is not as like...
But Nicole, what he's getting at is
you're attempting to screw yourself up.
Why the behavior of seeking substances to change your internal world? That's really what the question is. I mean, why do you have to seek a substance for that? What's going on that you have to be pursuing a substance, and eventually you're going to find your way to something that is not safe and that does have addictive properties. And that's how people tend to get addicted. They search around. Their behaviors are that of recurrently going after something to try to change their emotional world. And then finally they trigger the reward system, and boom, that's it.
I don't want to be like Mr. Square Grandpa Pops over here in the cardigan, but I'm saying I've experimented. I tried a bunch of stuff, and eventually you have to give it up. So why get started?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just go out and find something that turns you on and do that instead. Oh, man, if that doesn't get me laid, I don't know what will. Tony!
Yeah, what's going on, Adam?
Hey, you're on Loveline.
Dr.Drew, how's it going?
Tony, all right?
All right, well, I got a question about, like, when me and my girlfriend, you know, we, like, are about to do it and stuff, I get kind of, like, embarrassed and stuff because, like, I'm embarrassed for my, like, penis size, and, like, she always wants to do it. She's, like, a fiend.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I'm embarrassed, like, to do it because of my penis size. I'm just wondering if that's like normal or
it's too big.
No, I think it's like just too small.
Yeah, I was had my tongue in my cheek when I said that, Tony. How small is it?
I don't know. I mean, what's the average size?
Average size is like, I don't know, like 11 inches.
I don't know about that. I don't know, 10 maybe or 9.
9? Oh, man, where I'm from, we throw those back. 9 inches. Tony.
Yeah.
Listen, the average is about 5.5. And by the way, it keeps going down. I'm not quite sure what that is. You know what it is? Because it used to be like 6, 6.5, then it got down to 6, then it got down to 5, 5.5.
I think it's kind of the Congressional Budget Office. Whoever's in control is...
We're cutting the penis budget. Right. We're rolling back the penis size. No, I'll tell you what it is. More men are infiltrating into the whole testing
that's
program.
The point. Right, it's whoever's in control of the statistics.
There's a couple of guys going, Bob, what do you think? 4, 4.5, as they look down into their dungarees. Tony.
Yeah.
She likes it?
Well, she likes to do it all the time. But
she likes to do it? She likes to do it with you?
Well, I don't know. I hope so.
Are you present while she's doing it?
Yeah.
Is your penis there?
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's all you need to know. Who cares what size it is? If she enjoys it, you enjoy it. Mike.
Yeah, I have a question for Dr. Drew.
Yeah, Mike, what's up?
Okay, a while back I did these things called Marazines.
Right.
And I ate a box. I did it twice, and I was wondering what the long-term effects were.
We're talking about basically nausea.
I know, he ate a box of magazines. I heard the guy.
Marazine. It's like, isn't that what they call Bonine? Isn't that the trade name for that?
No, it's something different.
It's like a it's like a seasickness medication.
Motion sickness?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then I had like a lot of hallucinations.
Yeah, it's called an anticholinergic delirium you can get from it, and it's actually quite serious.
Is that like Dramamine?
Yeah, it's like Dramamine. And it in of itself, in moderate doses, is sedating, but once you take large doses, you get predominance of its side effect, which is something called an anticholinergic side effect. You can get heart racing, blood pressure problems. You get delirious. You actually have wild hallucinations, get detached from reality. You can get hurt pretty badly by it.
Where do you get that stuff?
Stores.
7-Eleven.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, but you can take 12 Tylenol and be dead in 2 days.
Oh, really?
Yes.
If you take 24, will you be dead in 1 day?
No.
So like in the long term, what will it do?
Nothing that I'm aware of if you make it through the acute delirium. Okay?
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Patrick.
Hey, how you doing, Adam? Dr. Drew?
Patrick?
Good. How you doing, Patrick?
Going. Learned a lot from your show.
Why, I guess thank Drew.
I got a question for Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
I've been taking this medication. It's called Mini-Thins.
Mini-Thins?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, Nabisco makes it.
That's what it sounds like, a cracker.
The Keebler folks.
Basically, you find it at like truck stops, right? And it's a broncholator. It's supposed to help you breathe better. But it has a drug in it, and I think it's ephedrine.
Ephedrine.
Yeah,
ephedrine.
Yeah, and it like really wires you.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, I used to take it in school, and like before we go out.
Wow, ephedrine is back. There's 2 nights in a row we've heard about ephedrine. You can give yourself a nice stroke.
Not Excedrin, ephedrine.
Ephedrine, I know what it is.
Ephedrine?
Ephedrine. You can give yourself a nice stroke,
Patrick,
or a heart attack, or a rhythm disturbance. I mean, these are pretty serious medications.
Because I used to take like 5 or 6 before we went out partying.
Beautiful.
And it would like keep you awake and kind of numbed you out. Made my you could feel your hair tingle and your fingertips just numb out, but it keep you awake all night. I was just wondering, like, if I were to take it like every weekend, I usually take it every weekend, but would it cause me to like flip out or something? Or
it's a good question. It's not, to my knowledge, like amphetamine in terms of its property of causing these kind of psychotic episodes that amphetamines will cause. I don't even know that it can cause addiction, okay? But the abuse of this drug, in my opinion, could lead to stroke, heart attack, major cardiac rhythm disturbances.
Well, it's like we always get back to. You are screwing with the temple. Your body is a temple. You have entered in the back door. You took a dump, and you left.
If you remember how River Phoenix died, that was a classic stimulant death. That's how people die. They do a bunch of stimulants. It happens all the time.
Right. So one should not monkey with one's temple.
You pick.
Sean.
Hey.
Real fast. You're on Loveline.
Okay, 2 quick questions. Okay, if somebody shaves their pubes...
What? What does that have to do?
Just relax, Drew. Yes?
Okay, if somebody shaves their pubes and it leaves little red dots on the line, like the pube line...
Yeah.
What do you mean the pube line?
Just let him finish. Get over this one as quickly as possible.
What does that mean?
Yeah, the pube line.
It means you shaved an area that shouldn't have been shaved.
Does it cause, do they go away eventually?
Yes.
I haven't.
Yes.
Okay, and also, if somebody screws around with a 16-year-old and that person is 21, what could happen?
They can go to jail.
And their dad can kill you. We'll be back with Joey DiPaolo and Morgan Lafonte after this.
Hey, friend, this is Pat Boone, and you and I are listening to Loveline.
Oh, okay, yes. See, Mike the engineer is learning he has to cue me with two hands and his penis in order to get me to respond. The phone number is 1-800-LOVE. Thank you, Mike. 1-800-568-3191. The fax is 310-854-4455. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. We're going to be getting back to the phones in a moment, but first we're going to talk to Morgan Lafonte and Joey DiPaolo, who are here in support of Board Aid, which is going on the 14th up at Bear Mountain in Big Bear. So why don't you tell us a little about that?
Joey?
Oh, okay. Well, this is going to be the third year that they're having it. This is the third year that I'm going. I had a great time. This is where I first started learning how to snowboard and everything. But it's going to be on Big Bear, and it begins at 9:30 a.m., and it's going to be a full day of music, snowboarding. There's going to be a skateboard. There's going to be a half pipe there, and it's going to be a whole bunch of skateboarders there.
Someone's going to get hurt. That's all I'm saying. Someone's going to lose an eye before the day's over. You got the snowboarding, most dangerous sport around. Am I right, Morgan?
No.
Morgan, you're elevated. You have your left leg up on the console, which normally we don't allow.
It was a freak accident.
Yeah, jumping off a 60-foot cliff. Just happened to twist my leg.
She ran into a freak who was stoned on the slopes. Everyone who snowboards is weird, though, aren't they?
I'd say 50%.
It's like all the guys who got thrown out of the skateboarding sector now. They just basically took the wheels off their skateboards, and now they're up on the slopes killing nice skiers.
No, actually, I think that the skateboarders are just now starting to get into it. It was a whole nother faction of people that started it, and now like the skateboarders and the surfers are all starting to get involved.
And you're considered to be the most, accomplished, or the only female in the top 10 of males? Is that what we understand? Right? And the world's best females?
Oh, I did an extreme contest back in '93 where I did place 10th in the men's and won the women's division.
And what was the closest woman to that? I mean, what did the second place woman place overall? I mean, was she
back in the
100th,
back in the ranks of the men,
right? Like
27th or something. There was only actually like 28 people in the whole thing.
But now you've destroyed your knee.
No, it's not destroyed.
Well,
it's been reconstructed and it's coming back.
Right, but you'll be you won't be doing any snowboarding come Wednesday, right?
No.
You're out for what, a few months till August?
I'm out till August.
All right, now Joey, you have HIV, correct?
Yeah, I have AIDS.
You have AIDS?
Yeah, I've been infected. In May, it's going to be 13 years.
How is your AIDS manifested?
It's good. My T cells are like 503.
No, but what AIDS manifestations have you had?
Oh, I had thrush 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the past, though. And my T cells, they went down to 78 at one point. It was a fluke.
Uh-huh. And tell us. I mean, I know you got it from a blood transfusion, but why don't you tell us the story?
Well, back in 1984, I had open heart surgery, ASD repair, which is atrial septal defect, medical.
I know.
Yeah. I was transfused with infected blood during the operation. In 1988, I found out that I was infected, and that was really weird the way I found out. My parents and the doctor, they didn't want me to know because they were afraid that I would give up faster and everything if I knew. So they asked me to leave the room, and as a kid, I put my ear to the door, and I found out that I was infected that way.
Wow.
And I kept it a secret from my parents for that whole year because I knew they didn't want me to know.
So they knew.
And they thought you didn't know.
They didn't know I knew.
Right. Wow. But back, I mean, that was 88. Not that much was known.
Yeah, just Ryan White was out there, and very few little people. I don't even think there was. I think Ryan White was the main person out there.
You want any of the new therapies, protease inhibitors, or anything?
No, actually, I'm going on interleukin-2 in 2 months.
Good.
Right.
You want any other antiviral drugs?
Right now I'm on DDI and AZT.
Okay.
And
you tolerate those okay?
Yeah, I've been on those since 89.
Great.
Well, actually, I've been on DDI since 89.
There's all this debate about should people be on antiviral drugs or whatnot. And I'll tell you something. If I had HIV, I'd be on it.
You would.
There is a clear correlation between viral replication, viral activity, and progression of the disease. It's there.
But you wouldn't go to Mexico and have goat crap rubbed on you and with coffee enemas and stuff like that.
Definitely would not do that.
That stuff doesn't work.
I've seen a lot of people go down
and
in flames,
not a dime in it for the big drug companies either, Drew.
What are you getting at?
Nothing. Listen, all right. So here you go. Now you realize you have. Now a year later, you come clean with the parents. You tell them, Did they tell you first?
Actually, I was in the hospital. I was going around talking to kids because it was an HIV/AIDS floor and a cancer floor. So I was going around to the kids, and it was my first time there at the hospital. I was asking them, "Are you here for HIV or cancer?" And if they're like, "Oh, well, we have HIV/AIDS," I was like, "Oh yeah, me too." And when my mother was in the support group meeting, she was like, "My son don't know. I don't want him to know because if he knows, I'm afraid he's going to give up faster. He's going to end up dying."
How old were you at the time?
Then I was 9. Then they were like, "What are you, crazy? Your son's going around to our kids asking them, do you have HIV or AIDS?" So I went back to the hotel, and my mom, she kind of discussed it with me, and we talked about it.
Right, and
that's when she found out that I knew.
And then how long before you came out with it? I mean, to schoolmates and things like that.
Then a year later, back in 1990, when I was in septic shock where my kidney shut down, I had no blood pressure, and the doctors gave me 48 hours to live. I had 106 fever, and when I came out of it, I was in recovery, and I was watching the whole Ryan White special on TV, and because he had died.
Right.
So in that week, so they had like a whole week to him, and I was watching it, and I felt that there was no one out there that was a kid that was going around speaking and telling people about it and educating people. So I wanted to continue what he was doing.
So you came out with it.
Public.
Right, and have been speaking to thousands of people and meeting with Clinton, and
I go speaking everywhere. I go speaking with Life Beat. I have Joey DiPaolo fund out with Life Beat.
Mm-hmm.
I do everything. I speak at high schools, junior high schools, elementary kids. I don't go to elementary schools because people with AIDS they could get chickenpox and shingles over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend who had chickenpox and I went into shingles about 56 times. So
yeah, we had a little shingles outbreak in here. When was that?
The shingles.
Was that Thursday?
Yeah,
last week?
That's Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not looking forward to that again. But you went out, you spoke to everybody. You're doing the Board Aid thing, which is just another stop on your tour, as it were. And you're educating. I mean, you're turning this into something positive as best you can.
Well, I don't want people to go through what me and my friends have to go through. I see everything on firsthand.
Right.
All medications and tests and scans. So.
Well, that's real courageous, and I it's amazing. I mean, who the hell knows how your life is going to turn out? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're doing things that no one would have ever thought you could do. Right. 48 hours to live. What, Dr. Drew? What the hell would you tell someone you got 48 hours to live?
He wouldn't tell him that. You tell the parents.
Yeah.
You tell the parents that I'm worried. With the
Still, why not?
You'd say the next 2.
Just bump it up to a week.
You say the next 2 days will tell. If they make it through the next 2 days, you'll be fine.
All right.
What's peculiar is that at that stage in an HIV infection, septic shock is an uncommon manifestation. Now, I don't take care of children with HIV, but you must have had pneumonia or something, or urinary infection.
It wasn't PCP pneumonia, but it was
pneumonia, regular pneumonia. That's what happens. You can't fight pneumonias, and they complicate by things like sepsis.
All right. Well, let's go back to the phones, and Morgan and Joey, you guys jump in, help out. Nelson.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, you're on Loveline.
Oh, hi. It was I have this problem or this question. It's every time I mess around with like girls or whatever, and then I get these stomach pains.
Mm-hmm.
Then my nuts get all sore.
Yes. Nerve gas with a sprinkling of blue balls.
So what was that, man?
I'll tell you what happens. You know I'm right. Morgan's over there laughing. She's been with guys. You know what it's like when the guy, after a long makeout session on the sofa, excuses himself to go in the room and bathroom and freshen up. You know what he's doing?
Yeah.
That's right. Like
that's it.
7,000 cubic feet of gas is coming out of that man before he comes back into the living room. Let me tell you something. What happens? Drew and I discuss this all the time, and it's a medical phenomenon. What do they call it, Drew?
Spastic colon, irritable bowel.
Irritable bowel, which is... Here's what happens. You go on a date. You're the girl you're making out. Your mind is racing. Okay? Plus, maybe you took her out to dinner, and... The average man farts, Drew read 13 times. I heard 16 times in a day. So if you go out on a long date, you figure you're only awake for what, 16 hours out of the day or so? 14 hours out of the day? So you stay awake that long without farting. I mean, you're out on a 6-hour date. I'm going to do some quick math. That's like 7 or 8 times that you should have farted that you withheld that fart. You know what I'm saying? So you're in the hole 8 farts. All right, now you're making out and you're creating extra gas. Do you see what's happening?
Yeah.
You're percolating. Do you know what I mean, Nelson?
So this is normal then?
It's totally normal.
So what do I do then to get rid of it?
Don't be shy.
You saying to break wind on the first date, Morgan?
Don't be shy. Say, excuse me.
You're saying fart and say excuse me on the first date?
Yes.
Come
why
on.
not?
Come on. You're on the sofa. You got your arm around the guy.
She's an extreme surfboarder, okay? She lives on the edge.
Yeah, but come on. Some guy rocks over to one side, breaks a little wind.
It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother you.
It doesn't bother a lot of women. It just bothers me.
All right. I want to say, Nelson, hold on. I'm gonna clear this whole thing up. Women. Attention, women. This is the voice of reason. Know that every time you go on a date with a man, he's going to have gas. I suggest when you enter the car, when he picks you up, hopefully he opens the door. When you get into the car, you look at him and say, and maybe hug him and go, I know. It's okay to fart. Set that tempo. In which case, though, by the end of the date, the guy will be palming the back of your head and ramming it into his crack. That's how guys work, actually, so maybe you shouldn't do it. But, Morgan?
I think that's a great way to break the ice.
You're saying it's okay to fart?
Yeah, heck yeah.
And speaking of breaking stuff, we're going to take one now. Okay. If you weren't listening before, I'll say it again. We have Morgan Lafonte and Joey DiPaolo. They are here to talk about Board Aid, which is coming up the 14th in Big Bear at Bear Mountain. They're going to have all kinds of bands like Bad Religion and Sublime and Celebrities and half pikes and full pikes and double camels and all kinds of stuff going around. We have plenty of people sporting tattoos and dreadlocks and bad snow beanies, getting loaded, having a good time. Wait a minute. How do you make money, though? Where's the money come in?
From the lift tickets people buy to come to the show.
Oh, okay. So are they more expensive than usual?
No, actually, I think the price is lowered. There you go.
Adam, you notice how both
better
them...
when I can see your
yeah, I
eyes.
was going to notice them look at me when they're talking to you, because you're wearing those damn sunglasses. It's very distracting.
Well, I was told I look good in them. I want to thank the folks from Spy, who's a sponsor of yours, right?
Yes.
I need a sponsor. Don't you think?
They're nice to have.
Yeah, they just buff you out with junk.
They save you money, for sure.
And they pay you like $10,000 a year for putting a patch on your parka, right?
Yeah, I wish.
Well, in theory, that's how it goes.
Exactly.
Let me give the phone numbers out. 1-800-LOVE-191. The fax number, 310-854-4455. And why don't we go back to the phones?
Here's your list.
That's my list of phones. All right, Julie.
Hi.
You're on Loveline.
Okay. This is a big mess. All right. I was really good friends with this guy since the end of last summer. And we've been hanging out all the time, really good friends, everything's great. Then we moved in together with one other person.
Platonically?
Platonically.
Yes.
Yes. All of this has been platonic this whole time.
Until
2 weeks ago, when...
he got drunk.
A little.
And you got drunk.
Right.
We both got drunk a little.
Boundaries come down.
Everything came down, and... Okay, so we were okay with that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Well, why? Why? So they slipped up. That's happened. Hell, that's happened to Drew and I.
Well, then we were talking, and we talked about it and stuff, and we both said, hey, this is what we've wanted all along anyway. We were kind of being stupid, just moving in together, thinking that was going to be platonic, when now it's not. And basically... he totally wigged out on me.
Wait, I'm wigging out just trying to follow this story.
I know, it's a mess.
But the mess is that you guys get involved.
Right.
You deny your feelings. You
No,
pretend they're not there. And then they resurface and surprise. Some of you guys generate these strong feelings for each other as a result of having this kind of a contact. And that creates a lot of chaos in this kind of a close living circumstance.
Yeah, it's kind of a chaotic thing. It's just really hard because we both feel like we want to be together and everything. But there's all these other issues that are coming in now, and it's just, he's like, well, I just want to forget about it, and I've said that before, too, and it's just, I don't know what to do.
You cannot forget about it.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Morgan.
It's time for one of you to move out.
That's probably the cleanest way to deal with it, if it's possible. I mean, that might salvage your friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way here's how a man works.
Oh, boy.
Well, no, let me explain. Once the man, like a vampire, once they've tasted a little blood, that's it. That's it. And he can be cool during the day, like a vampire, during, religious holidays and things like that. But the second he has a couple of beers... Now, here's a scenario. He'll go out looking for women one night and naturally fall short of the mark. He's going to go out with his buddies. He's going to tilt a few beers. He's going to go out cruising for chicks. He's going to do that same thing I do with my buddies, which is the whole hype-up thing before you leave the house. Hey, we're not coming home without a couple of babes tonight. Yeah, a lot of, high-fiving and stuff like that. Then you come home, 3 hours later, broke with your tail between your legs. He's going to be loaded, and he's going to come scratching at your door. Do you know that, Julie?
I've been wondering.
It's also a nice illustration, or not so nice, but an illustration of what happens when people sort of break through boundaries that should be maintained. I mean, once they're down, they're hard to put up once again.
Right.
And they're down here, and you've got to find ways to reestablish the boundaries in the relationship, and you can't do it when you're living together when there's this kind of temptation.
No, I agree with Morgan. One of them has to move out.
It's time to move out and just reestablish your friendship.
Right. And maybe both of them, because maybe now the apartment is cursed.
But you know what? The fact that he's freaking out, I mean, you're the one that's going to have to be the strong personality. You're going to have to be the strong person in the whole moving process. And
well, she's the woman. She has to make the sensible...
We have to be strong.
Yeah, you have to make the sensible choices, because the guy would go, the guy's plan is to bring in a couple of more women and start a microbrewery in the living room and grow pot plants in the closet and never leave the house. That would be the guy's plan. Ashley.
Hi.
Hey, you're on Loveline.
My question is, what is the most effective form of birth control?
Well, the most effective form, Adam?
Being beaten with a Bible. When you think about sex,
remaining abstinent, that would be a good means.
Abstinence, I think. I think that the rhythm method, along with maybe a condom.
The rhythm method?
No. Birth control pill is actually the most effective.
Really?
It's probably the most effective, but it's probably the most harmful to you as a person. Estrogen.
Oh, good. We're going to get into this.
All that stuff that's not natural for your body.
Let me just.
You need to know your own body. You need to know how you work.
Let me be like Michael Buffer here. In this corner, we have Dr. Drew, board-certified physician, a man who has diplomas coming out of the wazoo, a man who subscribes to many of the modern-day medical theories, and in this corner, we have Morgan Lafonte, an earth child, if you will, an earth mother, a woman who's into holistic health, holistic healing. Am I right?
Yes.
All right, you guys go at it with the whole birth control thing.
I have no objection.
What do you want to do?
Wait, that wasn't her question. Was what is the most effective means of birth control available?
Was that your question?
Don't be condescending to the guest.
But that was her question. That was the question, and I'm answering that question. To argue about whether or not it's a good choice for her is something totally different, and that's up to her. But in terms of what choices are available to her, and the most effective is abstinence. Beyond that, she should be using a condom. We totally agree on that, just for the standpoint of safe sex, right? And Joey will attest to that. It's lunacy today not to be using a condom, regardless of what means of birth control you're using. That a condom has about an 88% efficacy in terms of preventing contraception. You should be using some second method with that if you're going to use that by itself. Classically, you're supposed to use a second barrier, like a sponge or a diaphragm or something like that. That using timing and whatnot, if you really timed it with checking your basal body temperature and check, there are all kinds of ways of determining when you ovulate and whatnot. Yeah, that may have some efficacy, but statistically, the most effective birth control available, other than
abstinence,
other than procedures that tubal ligations and this kind of thing, would be the oral contraceptive pill. And hopefully there'll be something available for men someday that'll be equally as efficacious. So you won't have to.
You don't hope that.
No,
Drew.
I think it's ridiculous. Wait a minute.
Your woman on the pill. You don't want to worry about it.
You want that perhaps, but I think it's ridiculous that women have to be the one that take the
substances.
Have you tried the pill?
She's gone.
Oh, she is?
I'm going to talk about the pill with you.
That wasn't my fault. That was Adam.
Did you cut her off?
No, well, she was done.
Adam was done with her.
I wasn't done.
I didn't say that.
Talk to me. You don't like the pill.
About the pill.
Yeah.
I was on the pill once when I was 19 for like a month. It was the worst experience of my life. I was up and down with my moods. I put on like 15 pounds, and that's normal for women that go on the pill. That's just what they have to deal with.
No.
They're
on the wrong pill if that has happened.
We don't need these kind of rumors spread, first off.
There are so many different dosings of pills.
Yeah.
If they're
Well,
having
you got to get the right dose.
Right. If they're having those kinds of side effects, they should either not be on it or be on a different dose.
Yeah, didn't you go back to the doctor or pharmacist?
Are you kidding me? I threw that thing down, stepped on it, and that was it.
Yeah, but you're supposed to screw around with the hormones and things in there, right?
What are you talking about?
When you have a pill and you take the pill and it screws you up, I mean, your skin breaks out, you put on a bunch of weight, you get hair on you. You go back and change the thing around.
Right.
And does that usually work or not?
Usually works. You can usually find, there's so many different pills now, you can usually find one that has not any side effects.
All right, so you give that a try first, and if that doesn't work...
In fact, I mean, the thing is, the reason I have to argue about it is that the risks of pregnancy are much greater than the risk of being on a pill. I mean, the death rate from pregnancy is much higher than anything ever caused by the oral contraceptive pill. And there are apparently, as some people look at the data, I might be just boring you to death, but there's some there are health benefits to being on the pill. Women on the pill get less pelvic inflammatory disease. When they do get pelvic inflammatory disease, their hospitalizations are shorter. There's all kinds of benefits that are out there.
Their breasts get bigger, and they can't get pregnant.
They retain water.
This is Adam's perspective.
They retain it in their breasts. Oh, sure. Aaron.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. You're on Loveline.
I have a question for Dr. Drew. Okay, I have a 13-month-old son, and he just discovered a new appendage, and he tugs on it constantly. So I always say, stop playing with your wee-wee, and he laughs and he plays with it more. What I'm wondering is he going to turn out to be a chronic masturbator?
No. Leave your poor guy alone.
Yeah. You know what you're going to do to him, Aaron? If you hit him with a wet noodle every time he goes for his wet noodle, you're going to give him a complex. And
I don't do nothing like that.
But here's the deal with kids. You have to just let them go wild like a weed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You give them a little structure. It's kind of like when you capture a cockroach and you want to let it run around the house. But you don't want to let it get under anything. You just keep boxing it in. It goes this way a little, you put your hand there. It goes that way a little, you put your hand there. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
If you try to squash it, if you try to stop it, he's going to come around. You know what I mean? I think he could he could turn into a porn star.
So this is your theory about parenting, that if you teach a kid if you really come down hard on a certain behavior, that's the one they're going to do.
If Aaron yells at his kid each time he goes for Cousin Pepe, then as soon as he leaves, he's grabbing onto him. You know what I mean?
He's 13 months old.
Believe me, he's going to, come Christmas, he's going to throw baby Jesus out of the crib. He's going to be the neighbor's nativity scene grabbing his honker. It will come around and bite you in the ass. So what I'm saying, you have to go, hey, that's fine.
Right.
And then you explain the boundaries.
Later.
When your Aunt Martha comes in, try to lay off just a little bit, just for that little period of time. And then we'll set aside a couple hours later on in the evening where you can grab your penis. Penis time.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Good. We're going to be back with Morgan Lafonte and Joey DiPaolo after this. 1-800-LOVE 191 1-800-568-3191. Fax is 310-854-4455. This is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. We have tonight Morgan Lafonte. She is the hottest snowboarding chick in the world. We have Joey DiPaolo. He is a crusader for AIDS and AIDS education. They're both here promoting Board Aid, which is coming up the 14th. That is Wednesday at Bear Mountain. That is in Big Bear, I assume. They're going to have Bad Religion and what the hell other band they're going to have there? Sublime and many other bands and many other celebrities. It will be a big to-do, so I urge you to go out there and support a good cause. And that rustling you hear in the background is the sound of Morgan's ice pack, which is on her knee, which is why I don't do snowboarding. Morgan, do you see the scar in my eye? Oh, don't squint. You can see it. Joey, you see the scar, right? No?
That little red dot right there, isn't that a
What the
pimple?
hell's going on?
Above your...
Do you see the
yeah,
scar?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you see the scar?
Splits that eyebrow in
Oh,
half.
you mean where there's no
Right, the
hair
one that-
on your eyebrow? Yeah.
Yes. That, you know what that's from? One time I went skiing. One time. Whack, right in the eye.
Skiing.
That's skiing. So imagine if I went snowboarding, I'd be dead.
No way.
I'd have to drop my pants to show you my
You'd
scar.
be hooked. You'd be hooked.
Which I'm thinking about doing anyway. I'd be hooked. I don't want any sport where you start out real crappy and then it takes you like 6 weeks to get better. I want the sport where you
That's how
start out
everything
really
is.
good and then you get crappy.
No, that's how everything is.
It is?
What sport?
Great, but I mean, I stood up.
What sport?
Skateboard, though.
Oh,
Now,
snowboarding.
you're going to be out there doing? Are you going to be snowboarding the 14th?
Yeah, I'll be snowboarding. I'm going to stay up there for a few days extra, too, so I'm going to snowboard. I only get to snowboard once a year at the board aid, so they started me off 3 years ago.
Now,
It's the first time.
Joey, do you do the half pike and the half dome?
That's
and the
half pipe.
Half pipe,
If I
yeah.
stand upright.
And speaking of lingo, which I'm not going to be able to do the commentary for this, but in '98 it's going to be an Olympic sport, right?
Yes.
And it's not even going to be a trial sport; it's going to be an actual sport.
They're jumping in with both feet.
Really? And like, aren't the Americans going to kick everyone's ass in this sport?
No, the Europeans actually they train a lot harder than the Americans do. So I'm saying it's going to be a European takeover.
But you're planning on being there, right?
Probably not.
Why not?
Because I'll probably be in Alaska somewhere free riding. Forget all the regimented stuff.
Yeah, but won't there be like a phone nearby or something? We could call you and
God,
tell you
I
to come
hope
on
not.
down. We're having something called the Olympics, and we need you.
You might be able to beat me. I don't know.
Now, you're a pro, though, right?
Yes.
So is there some kind of thing where you wouldn't be qualified for the Olympics because you turned pro, or are they going to waive that, or how's that work?
Well, the people that are going to be doing the Olympics are the people that are primarily racing in the professional circuit gates and half pipe.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for making an ass of me.
And they're going to be the ones that are training specifically for those events. I don't train for those events. I used to when I was younger, but I'm over it.
And we'll be back in 10. All right, so now we're going to get back to what made this show famous, and that is the phones. Bob,
Yeah.
you're on Loveline. Yeah.
You want to know my question?
Yes.
My question is, what is it with these women out there who fake orgasms? I don't get it. I mean, I work in the restaurant industry, so I'm sitting around with a bunch of these waitresses, listening to stories being swapped back and forth, and guys are there, we're swapping stories.
Morgan, knock it off. We got a call here.
And I'm thinking, I hear these girls talking about, yeah, I was with this guy once, and I just didn't get it, and I just faked an orgasm on him, and I felt bad, but, it was over with, and I figured, I'll never see him again. And I listened to this girl, and I'm thinking, I would not want to have been that guy. And then again, do all women know this? Has it been done to me? I would hate to think that would happen.
Hold on. Drew, you ever faked one? Yeah, he's nodding yes. Morgan, we're gonna talk to the only female in the room, and Ann, producer Ann, you can jump in on this one, too, on the topic of faking orgasm. I would appreciate a woman who faked an orgasm once in a while, for Christ's sake. You know what it's like?
I don't know. Sometimes, I myself have never faked an orgasm. I've never had the need to, or never felt like I needed to make somebody feel good and cheat myself out of the whole thing.
Well, it's
but
not
some
like
women
it cheats
do.
you.
Sure.
Why does it cheat you?
If I'm not having the orgasm, then
All right, so
it's not for me.
Why shouldn't he
It's just
feel
for
like he's
him.
having a good time?
It should be for both.
Let me tell you about faking the orgasm here, Morgan.
Have
Let
you
me tell
faked orgasms before?
I certainly have.
Is that the deal?
I certainly have.
Is that why you're such an expert?
I'm going to be totally candid about it. Yes, actually today I was alone and I faked one. That's how committed I am.
Oh,
Mike, did you catch that? Yes, Morgan. There's certain FCC regulations that are
no
involved
swearing.
there.
Sorry about that.
Yes, but okay. I know it doesn't make sense when I'm talking about faking orgasm.
We're talking all kinds of stuff.
But here's what I'm saying. She saw the guy, Bob. She was with the guy once, right?
Yeah, maybe on a date or something like that.
All right, one date, she's never with the guy again. Why not send him away with a smile on his face? You know when you go to the dentist, they
He's
give you a
obviously
sucker?
not worthy.
But
But why should he walk around feeling not worthy?
Because he wasn't in this particular.
If he doesn't like the face or something, he can close his eyes. But he's always going to make sure he's.
Morgan, aren't you offended by Bob?
What's that?
Him?
I'm offended by Bob.
You're not?
No.
Bob,
he doesn't
Well,
care.
I don't understand what his point is. What's your point, Bob?
His point is, I don't care about the other person. How dare they
get herself, her pleasure? If she's going to be there, she's going to be doing that. She should be in it 100%. She shouldn't be, reneging.
But Bob, that's just so you can feel like you're asserting yourself, that you get. She has you just get some kind of satisfaction out of her achieving orgasm.
Bob, do you ever watch porno movies?
I
Yes,
do.
I think you do.
Bob,
do you think the women are really enjoying that when they're moaning and screaming with a bunch of grips standing around with duct tape and sweat pouring out from them and guts hanging over
Vaseline.
and Vaseline and the stunt penis waiting over in the wings and the whole 9 yards and the hot lights? Do you think they're enjoying that?
I don't know. I've never.
No, they're just acting like they enjoy it, Bob. And you know what you're doing?
What am I doing?
You're sitting in front of the set with your pants down, acting like you're enjoying it, and everyone is happy. That is my point. If you're only going to be with someone one time and they fake it, God bless them. My hat's off to them. If you're going to start a relationship, you don't want the person to fake it. You want them to tell you what they can do. Now, I'm not saying you women have to fake it, but if you do it once...
I just caught myself.
Tell me. I am every Bob.
I was going to say... If you want to give your woman an orgasm, clitoral stimulation, people.
Let's give a big high five on the big
That's
CS
really
there.
all it takes, and it's very simple.
All right. Morgan's right. Don,
Hello.
you're on Loveline. You ever faked one?
No, as a matter of fact, I haven't.
Liar!
Nope, never.
You're all
had to.
lie!
Never had to.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, I just had a quick question. I keep getting different mixed messages about how long it takes marijuana to get out of your system.
In terms of what? In terms of its being able to be detected in a urine screen?
Yeah, I'm helping somebody get a job that he has to take a UA test.
Well, it's extremely variable. It can be anything from a day or two to several weeks. Depends how long, how heavily somebody's been smoking, and it depends on the individual.
Oh, okay. I've gotten tons of different answers.
Well, that's why, because it's stored in the fat and it's metabolized out very slowly and continues to be excreted in the urine for up to a couple weeks.
And if you're a heavy guy, it'll be, you got like a bigger locker, right? I mean, you got
Tends to be that
like
way.
a bigger pot bunker to store everything in, right? So heavier guys would take a longer period of time to store it, right?
Well,
and women maybe would even take longer because they have a higher...
It's not been my experience.
No?
But people, if particularly in the first couple of weeks of abstinence, if they exercise or lose weight, it will tend to reappear in the urine.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Because you're burning into that fat storage where the pot is sitting.
Right, and but that doesn't tend to happen months later, so I'm not quite sure why that happens.
But you don't get any sensation of being high or anything like that?
Yes, some people do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, some people do.
So, I mean, all right, let me get this straight. You toke out and you eat. And you toke and you eat and you toke and you balloon up to 600 pounds. And then you put down the bong and you put down the Cheetos and the s'mores and everything else. And you're clean for a month and you go out and work out. And there you are running on the treadmill. And all of a sudden,
I've not seen that happen as much as a month out, but I've seen it happen up to 2 weeks out.
Fascinating, Drew. All right, Don.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
That's my question.
All righty, Drew, point at the screen. I'm going to let you pick the call. Yeah, I'm not going to give you 10 minutes to do it. Is that it?
I guess so. My hand was just going towards the screen.
Okay,
but go ahead.
You got one name I can't pronounce. What?
Inanna?
Inanna.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. You're on Loveline.
Hi, how you doing?
Yes.
Okay, I have a question for you. I'm not shy with taking off my clothes and having sex with guys, but I am with girls. And I've been with a girl, but I've never let her touch me. And I don't know why I freak out that way.
Now, you're with a girl, but you never let her touch you.
Right.
What'd you do, just like poke a hole in the door or something? You stuck your tongue through it? What do you mean?
And just never let her touch me. I don't know, I just never let her take off my clothes.
How old were you the first time you had an experience with a woman?
22.
Anything before that?
No.
Nothing at all?
Nothing.
Yes. Were your family, are your parents lesbians? I'm trying to anticipate Drew's next question.
No, that wasn't my next question. Go ahead, what's that?
But I have fantasized about women since I was...
There was a goof call. Joey, you were asking during the break how we knew? And I said, Doc Drew could always sniff out a bogus call, like McGruff, the crime dog. Well, I was wrong. That was him buying into it.
I was getting...
you would have got there. Another 15 minutes, you would have got there. All right, Drew, I guess I'll be picking the calls from now on. Misty.
Yes.
You're on Loveline.
Hi. I just want to know if you guys could explain to me what a cock ring is.
Morgan?
I was just at a sex shop today looking at cock rings, and they didn't really make too much sense to me.
You were picking out cock rings?
I was looking.
Thinking about getting engaged?
No.
Just a friendship thing?
I was just, one of my guy friends was talking about it the other day, and I just wanted to check them out to see what they were all about, but I was at a really low-end shop, and they probably didn't have a good selection.
So you're quite efficient. Your friend starts talking about cock rings, and that afternoon you're pricing them.
You get curious,
Hey, Morgan.
Dr. Drew, help us out on this one.
I was thinking about butt plugs the other day. You want to go do a little field work for me, please? Get back to us.
Only if you wear the spy sunglasses.
Oh, yes, more plugs for Spy. Very lovely sunglasses.
Aren't I tricky?
What? So you want to know what it is?
Yeah, I mean, what is it for? I mean, I've heard two different versions of it.
Well, tell us what you heard.
Okay, the first person that explained it to me said that it was some long thing that went over, like, the shaft, right? Mm-hmm. And it had, like, bumps on it or something to stimulate the women, but that didn't make any sense to me. And then I asked somebody else, and they said that it's a ring that goes around your nuts and your penis, and it's supposed to make you have a hard-on for a long time or something.
I'll tell you what the theory behind the cock ring is.
That sounds about right.
You ever see the pro wrestlers?
Uh-huh.
You know when, like, Randy Savage or Hulk Hogan or one of these guys, I'm gonna demonstrate on my arm, not that I do their arm justice, but they'll tie those rings. They'll take those, like, tassel things, those, like, shoelaces, and they'll tie them above their bicep and below their shoulder.
Uh-huh.
And they tie them off real tight, like that Mandingo warrior thing. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of makes the muscle look bigger. Uh-huh. And it's sort of like, I think what it does is it constricts the flow of blood. The blood gets in there and it starts bulging.
It constricts the outflow of blood. Blood gets in, but it doesn't get out.
That's right. That's what it is.
Sounds real painful.
It certainly is.
It's a guy thing.
It is a guy thing. Misty?
Yes.
You'll do fine with that one.
I hope so.
Guys never stop thinking of things to attach to their penis. They just sit home. And the beauty is you don't have to be a scientist. You don't
obviously.
You don't have to be on the Harvard faculty to sit home and figure out things to put on your penis. Don.
Yes.
You're on Loveline.
Yes. Hi. I have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Big one. Me and my boyfriend are on the verge of splitting up. We've been together for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And I was cleaning out his traveling bag because he's a truck driver. And I found a couple condoms. And I figured since he didn't need them no more, I just threw one away. And I took the other one and was teaching my daughter about condoms. And I forgot and left a package on the dresser. And my boyfriend found it, and he thought I used it.
And these were his condoms.
Wow.
He didn't recognize the brand.
Well.
I mean, where's the trust here? I mean.
Well, so what'd he do?
We're probably, we might even be splitting up.
You mean, but you told him the same story you just told us, and he didn't buy that? Because that sounds like a pretty reasonable story.
Sounds more like he had done something with the condoms.
Yeah, I think he's just guilty.
Yeah, because when a guy
himself, I mean, if you can't trust me.
No,
he doesn't
what was he doing with
himself,
condoms?
He can't trust himself, obviously.
What was he doing with condoms anyway?
I don't know. He just had them in his travel bag.
In his travel bag. He's a truck driver when he had condoms.
Before we met.
This guy is an asshole. Wait a minute.
Thank you,
I may
Drew.
be thinking that, but don't drop that in on me.
No, thank you, Drew. Yeah, didn't you question him about having condoms in his tote sack?
Oh, I knew exactly why he had them in his bag.
Why?
Probably because in case he met a woman.
Well, there you go.
So there's your trust.
Right. I mean, he can't. Joey, Joe, it don't take a 40-year-old trucker to figure out what's going on here, does it? No. This guy's screwing around. Yep. And when you have a guilty conscience, you then thrust that on everyone around you. Like the most paranoid people are the people that are screwing with everyone else. That is my theory. Mm-hmm. The people that are going, you got to carry a gun, man, because you can't trust anybody. Those are the people that you can't trust. Those are people that end up shooting you. The people that are like really paranoid about their own junk, whatever it is, are the people that are doing it 90% of the time. So this guy's screwing around on you. And you told him a viable story and he didn't buy it.
He's out.
Because he can't trust himself. So he can't possibly trust you.
Don.
I mean, this isn't your fault.
Get your thoughts together, get your little girl, and go someplace safe and happy.
Safe and happy? The hell?
Well, away from this guy.
Away from this guy, because obviously something could happen. You get mad enough or whatever.
Yeah, Don?
Yeah.
Don, if this guy doesn't believe you, then screw him. Figuratively. You know what I'm saying?
And I suspect he'll be back. This kind of thing, people don't usually... Those are sort of bluffs. You know, they're sort of an overreaction to their own guilt rather than a real intense belief that the other person's been cheating.
Yeah.
Unless there's some real reason to believe it.
Well, because if a guy thought his girlfriend or wife was screwing around on him, running around on him, there's nothing he would want to hear more than a good excuse.
Right.
Even if you said, even if there's a pair of soiled briefs lying next to it and a half-open warm Pabst tall boy, if you said to me, we had like a lingerie party and it got out of control, but it was just the girls, I would go, okay, honey, that's good. They want to believe. So this guy's full of crap. Don?
Yeah.
You know this guy.
I'm just so bummed out right now.
But Don, you know the guy's a jerk, right?
Yeah.
All right. Get rid of him.
He's out.
Good luck, Don. Find yourself a guy who has a job where he doesn't drive all over town and all over the country, carrying condoms, doing speed, eating greasy food, talking a bunch of gibberish on a CB, slapping Flo's ass as she walks by with another stack of Johnnies. I just had like an Alice flashback there. All right, let's pick a fun call. Drew's looking, but he can't find anything fun. All right, here we go. I know, this is going to be fun. It doesn't sound like fun, but I know it will be. Eric.
Yes.
You're on Loveline.
Hi, how you doing, guys?
Good.
I got a question for you.
Good.
I read an article about something called a morning after pill, which it said what it was a birth control pill that you take up to 72 hours after intercourse, in case, like, if the condom broke or if you decided not to use one.
Or if you were raped.
Yeah, and they said that it, like, works up to 75%. And
that is correct. That is correct.
If they had this pill...
It's not doesn't kill it. What?
If they had this pill, how come, like, no one has said anything about it?
I'll tell you why.
Wait, hang on. I talk about it all the time. It's called postcoital contraception. Maybe I don't talk about it enough. It really does need to be emphasized. To some extent, there may be some morality issues in the sense that it may prevent implantation and whatnot. So somebody may have issue with it. I've never heard any arguments against it. But in an emergency room in this country, they're handed out routinely after rapes. And if somebody comes in with, that desires it, it's readily available. It's low overall, and you take double dose for 3 days, and then either stop or finish the packet.
But this is not RU-486.
No, but it has similar,
which is still not legal here.
Right?
Why?
Because this country is still struggling with issues of when life begins.
Because of the right-wing, Bible-thumping, Pat Buchanan types who want to take their own personal beliefs, which they're not even comfortable with. And I'll tell you why they're not comfortable with it. This sword is going to come back and cut me right in half, by the way. Because when you're comfortable with your own ideas and your own beliefs and stuff, you don't stand up on a pulpit and yell about them all day. Like I'm doing right now.
I see.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know why these...
Amen.
You know why... You're with me, right, sister? You know why these stupid right-wing, paranoid, gun-toting, right right to lifers, you know what their deal is? They are not comfortable in their own skin. That's why they have to freak out all the time. That's why they have to scream at the top of their lungs, this isn't right, and a woman shouldn't have the right to do what she wants with her body and all this other BS. It should be your decision. If we have a drug, if it is a safe drug, if you want to take that drug, if you don't want to have a child,
You know what?
that is your business, Drew.
You haven't thought it out clearly enough.
Of course not.
Yeah. I mean, yes, that is one perspective, but there are some pretty heavy arguments the other way.
Give me one.
If you accept, and I really haven't settled this for myself, but if you accept that, when do you believe that life begins?
Life. All right. Now I'm going to straighten everyone out.
All
now,
right.
here is life. I'm going to end all discussion now on this.
Right.
It is not black or white.
All right. When is
there
it?
are plenty shades of gray.
When
Let
is
me
it?
get to that. Let me get to that. Smart guy wouldn't tell me if he was an atheist, agnostic, or born again Christian last night. Don't try to pin me up against a corner.
I thought I wasn't atheist. And I wasn't agnostic.
All right, but you never said what you were. But let's not digress. Let me explain how life works.
Yeah.
Life is degrees.
Yeah.
We've talked about this
Yep.
before. If you have a miscarriage in the first trimester, that is sad. But it's not like your 3-year-old getting run over by a truck.
Right.
And if your baby is killed at birth while in the delivery room, it is sadder than it is in the first trimester.
Right.
But it's still not him walking down the gangway with his diploma in his hand after graduating from Harvard and getting cleaned out by a drunk driver.
All right, so
it
when
is
is
not
it?
that.
When is it?
It is all degree. That's
so when
all
is it?
life is.
When is it? I understand it, but you got to make a point. You got to decide at some point. We're going to protect life. We're going to protect this as life.
For me, it's after you learn like Spanish and English. You have to be bilingual, or you're not a human at this point. Mi amo es Pablo. Until you can utter that phrase, you are not. It is degrees.
So speaking of somebody who's avoiding the issue, so you're not going to be able to come clean and tell us when life begins.
I think after you're born. You got to be born.
So, when are you born? You're
born when you come out of the womb.
But now we can. So should we have babies born early so we can protect them?
No.
Why not?
Because it has to come to its natural term. Because you're not developed.
No. Yes, you can get out early. So life is based on the state of the art of ventilator science, basically.
I do not want to parole babies early just so they can be considered human beings, just so I can let them be on this planet. I think when you come out, you are alive, and that's it. And if you do it when you're just a little zygote or you're just a little cluster of molecules or anything, that is a tragedy. But it certainly is not the tragedy as big a tragedy as it would be 9 months later. And we'll be back. Phone numbers 1-800-LOVE 191 1-800-568-3191. Fax number 318-544-4455. I'm all hopped up tonight, Drew. But I'm calming down here.
You are.
I don't know what it is. It's the damn coffee. This is Loveline. I am Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. We have Morgan Lafonte.
Hello.
We have Joey DiPaolo. Say hi, Joey.
Hello. What's up?
There he goes. Joey is a crusader for education. Wouldn't you say, on AIDS and HIV awareness?
Yeah, I do a lot of speaking on that, so yeah, I guess so.
Now,
I mean, I have it.
I read that you spoke in front of 91,000 people.
Yeah, that was back in 1993 at the
It's a
AIDS
Who
quilt.
concert.
At the AIDS quilt in Washington, D.C.
Ah. And
they're going to have another one this year, too, so that'll be cool.
They are. That might,
they can't hear you, Joe. You
get a little
up.
closer onto the mic. I'm sorry.
They're going to have another AIDS quilt, I heard, this in October, I think.
Now, where do they keep...
It's going to be double, I think.
Where's the quilt? Do they keep it somewhere?
I don't know.
They're like about
at the Names Party, I think, or something like that.
They roll. Is it one big quilt, or does it come apart with like Velcro or something?
I don't know. It must come apart. It's huge.
And they roll it up and they ship it out, and then they spread it out, and then everyone.
Then Joey speaks.
And Joey speaks, and
I just read names to people that are on the quilts.
That are on the quilt.
That's what everyone. No one really speaks. They just read names. They have a whole list.
But still, you make a few comments. You get some nice applause. Yeah, that must be pretty wild. 91,000 people.
It's like a 3-4 day thing. That's how long it takes to read off all the names.
Wow.
Died of AIDS.
Wow.
All right, let me read a quick fax here. First of all, Adam, you're rad. I don't know if the mic was on. Let me say it again. First of all, Adam, you're rad. I listen to you guys every night because you're hilarious. I just wanted to comment on a caller who thinks his penis is too small. My boyfriend has the smallest penis in the world.
It looks like an announcement put out by P.T. Barnum or something, doesn't it?
Attention, patrons.
It's a giant letters.
I bet he's proud as hell too that his girlfriend is sending out these type of faxes. It looks like a frickin' acorn. I threw the frickin' in, but he really knows how to move it. I sincerely believe that penis size does not matter. If your girlfriend thinks your penis is too small, she is ignorant. Well, God bless you. We're going to be giving away a snowboard. We're going to be giving away a Morgan board, and we have some questions now. What Morgan's doing. And this is a hot board. Is this the one, Morgan?
That's it right there.
It's got like a cactus on it and flames, and there's some Hesher smoking pot out of a skull. And it's got a swastika on it.
My name.
It's like, well, I don't know. You describe it.
It's a good board. So it'll be a 149.
What's a 149?
It's 149 centimeters tall.
Oh yeah.
And got great colors.
Yeah. Now, does it come with the boots or the bindings or anything?
No, just the board.
Really?
We're going to give just the board away.
How are we going to give this away?
It's a little cheap, isn't it?
Well, what I kind of wanted to do is, since it's my personal board, I wanted to ask a few questions to the listeners out there. And
do you want to interview people?
No, just anyone that can come up with all of the right answers is the winner.
All right, so basically, I'm just gonna cut through the thick subtext here. They must call and kiss your ass for about 10 minutes, or they don't get any stinking board. Am I right?
They don't even have to kiss my ass. They just have to know at least a little bit about me.
That's a form of ass
Since
kissing.
it is my board.
Okay, all right. That sounds. No, why not? It's your
worthy.
board.
Yeah,
let them praise you a little bit. Nancy.
Hi.
Hey.
Angie.
Sorry?
It's Angie.
Oh, okay, Angie.
You know what? I didn't even know you were giving away snowboard, but I'm going to kiss Morgan's ass. Morgan's.
I'm in the running, too, by the way, and I can physically as well as verbally do it here.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to call because I don't think you guys probably know what a great person she is, but she is such an inspiration. I mean, she's not only an awesome writer, but just because it's so hard sometimes to go up and try to be so good compared to all these guys. I just moved down from Oregon, and so many people here just freestyle like crazy, and then I look at her, and it just makes me want to just push myself harder. I mean, she's just an amazing person.
Thank you so much, Angie.
Thank you. But
do you give her a chance to answer the question?
But you know what, Adam? If you want to seriously, Adam,
yeah.
If you want to seriously get turned on, there is a picture of her. I think it's her, yeah. And she's doing some sort of backflip up in Oregon, and she's got her bra on, and it is just the hottest picture.
Right. I've seen. She's being dragged out of a Best Western motel.
No.
I've seen that shot. It was in all the papers.
It's nothing like that.
Oh, she's actually out on the snow?
She is in the air.
And this brings us to another topic. You know, eventually the lesbians will take over in the female sports. You know, golf, bowling, stuff.
Why do you say lesbians?
Starting with tennis. I'm not making. I'm not saying. I'm not. No. First off, I'm not saying it's bad. Secondly, I'm not saying you are Nancy or Angie is. All right. Anyway, the point is eventually they will infiltrate the female sports. You see that coming up?
I think it's great. I actually don't care what gender I ride with as long as they push me, and I'm totally for anyone riding just well and loving the sport. And I don't, whether or not she's in the Olympics, statistics don't matter. I'm like stuttering because I'm totally nervous. I can't believe I'm talking to you. But just the fact that she just does her own thing and she's just totally comfortable with herself and what she believes in, and she writes for herself. I think that's what.
Wait, don't.
All right, I'm not going to hang up. I'm going to put her on hold because she made a pretty good case for the board there.
Yeah, she did. I think that Angie, you got it. It's yours.
Well, no, we want to give it away that fast?
Yes. Oh, are you kidding me?
All right.
That's beautiful.
I think there was more ass left to kiss, though. I think turn around. There's a little part she missed.
Well, no.
I don't see any need to go any further, personally.
Really? You weren't going to ask me questions?
Ask her a few questions. Let's see.
I just want to know if you remember, if you've seen the last interview I was in and what magazine it was.
I saw Megan Pishke's. Is that her last name? I don't know. In Fresh and Tasty, but I don't know the latest one. I get both Transworld and snowboarding. So would they be in there?
Yeah, it was in the January issue of Transworld.
Oh, and there was like 7 other interviews.
Yeah.
I really like the Megan one because it just kind of captured your personality.
All right, Nancy.
Oh, you mean her interview on me, or intro?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, the intro she did. Yeah, that was the one.
Where you go screaming by.
yeah, that was the one.
Angie, you're quickly going from #1 fan to annoying fan.
Oh, no.
Yes. And
no, she's saying that another woman wrote an intro for my interview, and she liked
She
the
not only
intro.
knew which one it was, she's writing a critique on it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, now you're going into paranoid fan and delusional fan. All right, let's put Angie on hold.
Yeah.
Thanks, Angie.
She won the board. All right, and we're putting you on hold. And,
Power up.
We'll give you a home version of the game too.
I think that was great.
Well, that was easy.
That was.
You were easy. I would have milked that all
no way,
in. I would have
man.
milked that
She
into
said what she
Lycus'
needed-
show tomorrow.
She said what she needed to say.
All right, Violet,
Hi.
you're on Loveline.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a pretty big marital problem.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think that I'm a very sexual person. I've been with my
We'll be the
husband
judge
for-
of that.
I've been with my husband for 4 years, and we've been married too. And he has a premature ejaculation problem. And I have subtly brought it up to him, and I know that he is self-conscious about it. But I don't know. I need some advice. Is there medication? Is a doctor's appointment in order? Or
How long does he last?
1-2 minutes.
Oh, that's a marathon. I'm surprised you last.
How long have you been married?
2 years. And we've been together 4.
And was he always fast?
Yeah.
Why'd you marry him?
Well, I love him. He's wonderful.
Well, love is great and all, but I mean, you knew going in, didn't you, Violet?
Well, yeah, I did, but I think that, I don't know. I mean, there's got to be something, right?
So you guys had plenty of time for sightseeing on the honeymoon, huh? All right. This to me, this problem just means too much man. He's just too much man to contain himself, and you are too much woman for him to contain himself. I would look at it as flattering if I were a woman, by the way.
Well,
I mean... Well, no, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Let me say this. Wait a minute. Let's be fair here.
Okay, now, go
when
ahead.
a man is impotent, when a man is flaccid, when a man cannot achieve an erection in front of a woman, she takes it personally. A lot of the times. A lot of the time the woman says, what's wrong with me? Am I not attracted to him? So, by that logic, when the man gets off before he gets his pants down, she should be ultimately flattered because that would be the other end of the spectrum.
Not
Am
after
I
4
right?
years. Not after 4 years.
Thank you, Morgan.
The guy obviously has to figure out what he's doing wrong. Maybe he needs to masturbate more. I mean, who knows?
That's right.
He needs to get control of his own.
He needs to masturbate. He needs to masturbate a half hour before.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
Am I right?
What do you think, Dr. Drew?
You know, it's actually more complicated than just what we're saying here. There's lots of different ways of intervening and stuff like this. There are people that they're professionals that handle this kind of thing. Some people advocate the use of Kegel exercises. Some people suggest what Adam is suggesting. You can wear a condom. Sometimes that will decrease the sensitivity. There's lots. You know, you guys. One of the things that really is missing here is this is all a very hidden topic, and that only raises his anxieties about his discomfort, and he senses your dissatisfaction with it. You guys need to work on it together, and you need to commit to working on it together and figure out a way to make this much work out better for you.
Who would you suggest? A family doctor?
So she doesn't even want to deal with it.
Hey, Violet, he just told you to work on it, and you went right to the family doctor. Don't let the family
don't
doctor
go to the
in
family
there.
doctor.
Yeah.
He's going to want a piece too. Just relax, work on it together.
You've got to talk about it together. You've got to talk a lot about it together.
I will make you a guarantee, Violet. If he masturbates 1 half hour before you have sex, and then watch the beginning to Full Metal Jacket, you guys are going to be fine, and we'll be back. Line Phone number's 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. We're here talking about Board Aid with Joey DiPaolo and Morgan Lafonte. Morgan is a champion snowboarder who is the queen of snowboarding. She is, yes, it is, what's that mean? She's pointing at the snowboard.
I ride for K2, by the way, in case anybody didn't know.
All right, you're pointing at a sticker on the side of a
brochure. That says K2 right there.
I don't even know what. That doesn't look like anything more. If you got something to plug,
you better put on those glasses again.
Plug away. Yes, I got some glasses from Spy. We all did. They're lovely. They make me look 10 years younger.
Thanks, DK and Peter.
They make Drew's breasts look even larger. It's amazing. Joey?
Optically correct.
Joey, we didn't get a chance to talk to you as much as we could have because I drank 8 cups of coffee and got on a soapbox the entire evening. But let's talk to you just a little bit.
All right.
What's ahead? You got the Board Aid, the 14th.
And, I don't know. That's really about it for now.
What do? Do you go back? You go back to your home?
I'll go back home and just relax. Go back to school, hang out.
Treated like a regular guy and all that?
Oh, yeah, I do. I hang out with my friends, get treated normally.
Because back when people found out about this in '88 or so.
See, when I first came public, it was like the end. It was coming to the end of everyone like going crazy.
Right.
So it wasn't really that bad.
There wasn't total hysteria. This was like unknown mystery disease. They could get it just by you looking cross-eyed at them.
No, people knew. There was still 24 families in my junior high. This is in 1990. They wanted to keep me out of school.
Oh, I bet they're proud of themselves now.
Right. They were afraid of me like sweating in gym and like me putting gum underneath the desk, or they wanted me to have my own water fountain, my own bathroom.
Well, actually, it's not a bad deal. I really would have worked that. Yeah, but see, I would have worked that angle.
Right? No, I didn't know about it until like.
Because I had to share a locker in gym
right.
with some guy named Alfonso Espinosa, a big fat sweaty guy. Although I always wore his stuff because I forgot my stuff, so I'm running around with Espinosa written on the front of my shirt. But the point is yeah, okay. No, you're right. You're right. So you do the gym, you can do everything.
Oh yeah, I do everything.
Right.
No one has a problem or anything.
And you feel good. You feel strong.
Yeah.
And you've had HIV for 12...
It's going to be 13 years in May 23rd.
13 years.
Yeah.
Oh. That's amazing, isn't it?
After a while, it's just like...
But the treatments are really getting much better now. They really are. People can expect to live.
There's a lot of experimental drugs coming out.
But even the traditional kinds of interventions are showing some real promise.
And Drew, do you think, and I know you can't go out on, but go out on a limb here, do you think we're on the verge of something? I mean, in the next 5 years?
I think in the next 5 years, HIV will be thought of as a chronic disease like diabetes. At least in 10 years, it'll be like that.
Really?
It'll have the potential to take people's lives, but it will generally be perceived as something.
And by 2010, we'll have something?
Something. I mean, I don't think there's going to be a cure, but I think there'll be a way to make it into a chronic illness as opposed to something necessarily progressive.
Right. And then we'll have flu strains the size of a Winnebago that's going to kill everybody. Yeah. Oh, no, believe me, God, I'm an atheist, but I'm still smart enough to know that God has all of this worked out. Something else will come up to like thin out the herd.
Yes. Outbreak.
Yes.
That's the way these things work.
Yes.
All right, Drew, what call do you want to go to before I get too philosophical here? I'm going with the one at the top. Brandon.
Yeah.
You're on Loveline.
Hey, I got a question I'm hoping Morgan can answer.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's actually about oral sex. When I do it, I just don't get the reaction I'm looking for, which is orgasm.
21 gun salute.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering what I'm doing wrong.
Okay, well, there's like a couple of different areas on a woman that she can be stimulated with. You probably aren't hitting right on her clitoris.
Well, sometimes I try to look for it, but...
hold on, slow down. I got to write this down.
You can massage it with your thumb, and you can feel it get hard, and then you'll know where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little bit higher up above the opening. And you got to find it. Get it hard with your thumb if you can, and just be gentle. And don't do it with like a shadow or any kind of like a scruffy beard, because that's kind of a turnoff.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it rubs against the thighs and everything, and it just It doesn't work.
As I sit
Clean
here
shaven.
with my scruffy beard.
I'm looking at your shadow.
You're saying...
But you just have to take your time and ask the girl, say, hey, is this right? Is this, is this where I should be? Ask her to, get involved and talk to you.
All right.
Yeah, communication. And let me say this, too, because I'm going to follow up what a woman loves on the what a woman loves topic, because I know.
You're
and
a pro,
you tell me, Morgan.
Okay.
And Joey, don't listen. Come on now. Joey's folks are in the next room.
Falling asleep over here.
I don't want him to hear this, but here's what I'm saying. Guys approach women like they want women to approach them. Meaning guys approach sex in a real fast pace. They turn it into an event. You know what I mean? Slapping, sweating, smacking, screaming,
2
knocking
minutes?
over furniture. 2 minutes, it's done. But the apartment's destroyed. But I'm saying guys have a very hard, fast approach to things. They're more aggressive.
Yes.
You cannot approach a woman that same way. Women don't think that way. Women like soft. Women like slow. Right? They like
Yes.
the little circular patterns. Am I right, Maria?
Circular, up and down, anything that hits the right spot.
Right. Just take the freaking goggles off.
But
before.
like you said, do it slow,
Yeah,
Communicate.
take it slow, be gentle. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
a woman
yeah.
is not like a man. It takes, you have to build into things. Am I right?
Yeah. You hear that, Brandon?
Yep. Got it.
All right, brother. Go out there and do it.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Marie,
Yes.
you're on Loveline.
Hi. I have a problem.
Yes, that's why we're here.
Well, it's going to seem really strange, but it's not bogus, so please don't hang up.
All right.
My husband and I have been together for 7 years, and he has he has retarded ejaculation, but it's the extreme. It never comes. He could stay hard for hours. He never comes unless he masturbates himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to know if there's anything that you can do about it.
Yeah, well, I know it's tough for us guys who suffer from this predicament. You hearing this, Morgan? Yes.
Hard on, yes. He could satisfy 12 women.
Yes, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you think, Dr. Dre?
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Drew would be a
Dr.
great
Drew.
person.
Adam has your usual solution to this one.
I'll tell you the answer to this one.
Oh.
It all comes back to masturbation. Morgan,
Well,
Joey, you jump in too if you like. Don't worry about
I
the
think
folks.
it
I'll
came-
handle them.
I think it came from too much masturbation. That's why he can't be stimulated or reacting in any other stimulus.
Well, no, wait a minute. Now, here's what the deal... No. Drew's got a puss on, but you're right. I'll tell you what the deal is. A guy's no different than a dog.
Right.
In the sense, when a little Shih Tzu comes around, I like saying that word because I get to say half the S word and I don't get screwed by the FCC. When a little Shih Tzu comes around, you pet it in a certain place. And you know how it is when people come around and their dogs come around, they go, oh, they just love it when you give it to them right above the tail there. And you give it to them in the same place, in the same way all the time, and they get used to it, and that's what they want. And then when you move and you start rubbing their belly, that's what happens. Men spend their entire teenage career honing the whole masturbatory thing.
But
I could add 30 degrees if I spent half as much time studying as I did masturbating.
But
You know what I'm saying?
I want to get pregnant someday, and I don't know what to do because...
All right, I'm going to explain. What
won't
happens.
come.
He knows how he can do it in 10 seconds when he's alone, though, right?
I guess.
You have to simulate that when you're with him. I know it sounds like the
I
most
do.
retarded thing in the world.
We have to finish by him masturbating with me there. I mean, he just can't do it. We've gone 6 hours, no lie, and he can't come.
Get him in the position that he would be in. Get him to start himself.
Uh-huh.
Make sure all conditions are the same. If he has to turn the shower on, so be it. Just to hear that water running. Make everything the same as it would be as if he was masturbating, and then you somehow work yourself into the fray. Joey's nodding for some reason. Does that sound good? Sounds good. Morgan?
I don't know about that one.
Fun. I just would like to have the intimacy, too, of having him come inside of me, but...
Marie, is he on any medication?
Well, he tried medication, but it hurt his head.
Is he on any medication, though, presently?
No, he hasn't been for
Does
years.
he have any medical problems?
He's an alcoholic.
Well, guess what?
Bam.
But, I mean, he had this problem way before he ever started drinking.
No.
He was molested as a child.
There you go.
Okay.
Those two things are hallmarks of this kind of problem. And although Adam's mechanical approaches may have some utility for you,
well, I'm a pragmatist.
The fact is,
what can we do?
That the alcohol is tremendously damaging to the function of that part of the nervous system. It lowers testosterone levels. You add to that the fact that he was sexually abused when he was a kid, and that creates all kinds of inhibition of the ability to function normally. And you ought to get him to somebody who can maybe help him through this. It takes a lot of time and a lot of work.
Psychologically, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah, but he has to sober up, too.
And he has
Well,
to.
no, he is, but
He has to be in sobriety, not just abstinent.
And he has to talk to someone about these events, because obviously they've scarred
They're
him, and now they're scarring you in a residual way.
They are.
Yeah,
but you're
so
going
don't
to
put up
find
with
that the intimacy is going to be lacking in your relationship in general, because people that have been through that have real difficulty sustaining intimacy. And so if you want to have that kind of intimacy, it's important that he get some help so he can begin to enjoy that with you, okay?
Okay.
Good luck, Marie. Oh, man, if we ran a gamut of phone calls here. Let me tell you about tomorrow night's guest. 2 guests from Party 05, a show that won Best Thingy of the Year. Best Dramatic Show.
That was Golden Globe or something, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, won a bunch of stuff. I mean, it surprised a lot of people because it was sort of the dark horse, and it took it. Beat ER. Thank you, Ann. And it's a real good show, and I've always liked this show. And we have Nev Campbell, who I'm absolutely in love with, who's the brunette sister, plays the 17-year-old one. And we have Michael Gorgian, yes, who I will kill because he plays her boyfriend in the series. And we'll be back after this. Well, we're at the home stretch here. Just a few more precious moments left. Where did the time go? That really flew by.
Into thin air.
Does that seem fast for you guys?
Yeah, really fast. I was just starting to have fun.
Yeah, me too. Well, I want to thank Morgan Lafonte, Joey DiPaolo for coming out tonight, for talking about Board Aid, the 14th, Bear Mountain.
Be there.
Big Bear.
Be there or be square.
All kinds of music, all kinds of nuts on skateboards and snowboards and the whole 9 yards. Plenty of fun. A good cause. So come on out and support that. I want to thank Dr. Drew for putting up with me tonight and
it was a night of abuse. It was
being such. But you're an addiction medicine specialist, and
abuse is something I work around all the time. So
yes.
That's all right.
So what's
That's
wrong?
good.
And the best way to learn about abuse
is experience it.
Is to pull down the pants once in a while and take a licking. Am I right?
You're always right, Adam.
I think you know the way I meant licking too. No, I meant it in a non-sexual way. I would like to thank the beautiful Sherry for doing the phones tonight, the new but lovely James for doing the phones tonight, the beautiful svelte, slender, and angular Ann for producing this show. I would like to thank Scott back at the home base at K-Rock. I would thank the one sack wonder, I should clarify that, the one nut wonder, Mike, for being the sport that he is and doing a fine job engineering. I would like to thank myself for not getting fired yet. Tomorrow night, remember, Party of 5, Nev Campbell and Michael Gorgian. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Sweet dreams.
So that's it then.
The opinions expressed on Loveline by Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew, or anyone are not necessarily ours. Be happy. Be happy. Happy, happy, happy. Loveline's producer is Ann Wilkins.